the boss, and Elaine, the mum. Today we're joined by Linda Cassidy, the owner and founder of Body Box Fitness over in Port Banbridge. Oh my goodness, we're in Port Down. And she is absolutely killing it over there. So without further ado, we're going to pass her over to you.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely welcome. So glad we finally got the date set now.
Yep.
I know it can be madness, as you guys know, when you're self-employed, you're just pillar to post all the time and you think you've got something in concrete and then something else comes up or something moves. And so I'm glad we've all got nailed down eventually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure, that's just life.
I know, madness. I know. Would you
So
know
Linda,
what?
let's get stuck into who you are. Have you always been a personal trainer?
No, so I started off my career, my job life as a primary school teacher. I went to Stranmillis, and I did PE there, obviously. So it's something I suppose I've always wanted to teach in some capacity, and I think suppose we are like predisposed in this environment around us. You have to go to school and you have to go to university and then you have to get a job, and you kind of don't look outside that box because it's kind of scary and your parents have careered you down this road. And it's something I suppose was going to be comfortable and safe until you're 65 being a school teacher. You know, you get your wages every month, you get your holidays and all that sort of jazz. So that was my first natural job, and it was something I did want to do. I did want to teach. I coached gymnastics from I was 14, 15. So I knew that I enjoyed working with kids on some level as well. But fitness has always been a part of my life. I've always done fitness in school, right through primary school, high school, junior high school, college, and all that stuff as well. So fitness has always been there as a prominent part of my life, I suppose. And then again, when I was in primary school teaching, I loved taking the PE lessons. I loved taking after school activities and all the sports things. So it's always been, I suppose, I loved PE. I could never understand these people that were bringing in notes to get out of PE. I was like, he's crazy. Why do you not want
I know, it's just like an hour and having to think, really.
That's what I was talking to me mom about that. I'd love to be a PE teacher. I'd just join in never.
Absolutely. I loved it. I just think you'd love to see, like she said, it's time out just from life and under pressure. And I know physical education doesn't come natural to a lot of kids, but I think if you make it fun for the kids, they don't even know that they're moving. So that was a big part of the thing when I did do primary school teaching and I did do PE lessons. It was trying to make it about fun and games rather than trying to make it as a discipline, I suppose, in primary school.
Awesome. And where did you teach?
I was over in Edenderry in Portadown actually for about a year and a half. Just naturally fell on my feet there, did a few days subbing in it, and then an opportunity came up to cover a girl's career break and a bit of maternity leave. So I had primary 5 and primary 6 over that duration, and they were really lovely, really nice wee age to teach now.
That's a great age.
Yeah, they were lovely. Just that they loved you as a teacher, but they had that wee bit of independency, which was lovely also. So that's I just did a bit of subbing all over as well throughout my time as well, and just got into different schools in the area, mostly kind of around Banbridge, Scarva, Tandragee, that sort of area.
Brilliant. And did you ever go anywhere further afield?
Well, after I graduated from Stranmillis, I did go to Australia for a year. And when I was there, I actually was in a kindergarten. So I taught preschool over there for a wee while, which is madness, absolute mayhem. It was okay. I can't say that I enjoyed it because that age group really they're fucking hard work at that age. They're just a constant like looking to be attached to you. But it was lovely. That's how I started off doing a wee bit of teaching over there. And then it was naturally from there then that I skipped into the fitness sort of side of things while I was in Australia.
I was just going to say, how did you breach from being teacher into the fitness side and then on to like personal training and stuff?
So when I was in Australia, of course, first thing that I had to seek out was the closest gym. That's always my go-to before I go. And I joined a Fitness First over there. I lived in Coogee Beach. And there was a Fitness First about 2-3 miles from our apartment. And I just started training there. And then obviously they're light years ahead of us with regards to fitness. So at the time you had all these PTs in this gym of all different personalities and credentials, and they had like a wall where you could kind of go and look at all these PTs and see where all their backgrounds were and what they all specialized in. You could pick a PT. So I actually started to PT with a guy over there. And he had actually said to me, like, Linda, why don't, because at this stage I had my gym instructors and stuff already. And he's like, why don't you do your personal training and come and join us in here? So that's what I did. I went and did a 3 Fitness Institute Australia when I was there. And I ended up being a PT whenever I was in Australia. So, and I absolutely loved it.
Did you ever fail or fear what your parents or your friends might say back here in Northern Ireland, or even your friends that you made over there? You've come over here with a teaching degree and now you're doing personal training. Like, are you wise in the head?
I suppose I didn't think much of it when I was in Australia because it was kind of on my holidays. So it never kind of really crossed my mind. I was probably in my own head, I'm going to do this for a wee while when I'm here, you know, and it's kind of, I'll cover my living costs and all that jazz, and something I enjoy. But when I get home, you know, I'm straight back into teaching. I'll get, you know, onto that crazy train and off I go for the next 40 years. So I suppose I didn't think much about it over there. The reason I came home from Australia, I had this like idealistic, I'm going to come home and get a teaching job and it's all going to be lovely. And yeah, it wasn't that at all. And don't get me wrong, I came home and got a teaching job, but it wasn't all roses.
No, never are.
No.
Never.
And then when you came home, did you stick at the teaching job, or then what sort of made you say, you know, this isn't for me, I'm just going to go on and pursue my own career in personal training? Or how did come about, you know, back home?
Well, I was home in 2006, so I was still coaching gymnastics and I still worked part-time in Banbridge Leisure Centre. Those guys in the gym. So I was kind of doing that and doing a wee bit of subbing. Again, applying for teaching jobs. They're very hard to come by in Northern Ireland, I think permanent. Because anything that you do apply for, they're looking you to have like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years experience. And no way of getting that experience over here, you know, to get applying for the jobs, you know, which is difficult. And then I just happened to fall on my feet with the wee job that I did get in Edenderry for 1.5 to 2 years. And just when I was in it 100%, I suppose I realized, shit, this is not my scene at all. I don't work well with a lot of other females. That was a big thing for me.
Oh dear.
More so than the teaching, if I'm totally honest. Yeah. And I just kind of think, and there's people who probably think I'm absolutely nuts when I say this, but I feel in Northern Ireland, when we go to do teaching, you never leave school, because Stranmillis for me was very structured. It was 4 years of like a Monday to Friday. It wasn't long. My friends were queens. They were going to lecture 2 days a week, and I was fucking stuck in university 9 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday. Which I didn't mind because I'm a wee bit sort of a control freak. I like knowing what I'm doing. But you're at that for 4 years. You're there, and you had a break time in Stranmillis, you had a lunch time in Stranmillis, you finished at 4:30. And then suppose you go into the big bad world and you're teaching. So you've never left school. So to me, I just kind of felt a wee bit claustrophobic. And again, not to be judgmental of anybody who is a teacher, but I kind of felt that there's a lot of the big bad world they hadn't seen, because it just naturally fell into this position. That was them for the next 40 years.
I suppose it's like a safety net, really, that most people fall into, where it's money each month, is paying the bills and stuff. You know, most of them are probably happy with what they are at. Most of them aren't. Probably it's the same with any job, even my job. I have bricklayers working in my place, and like they turn around and say, I said, why not bricklaying? He says, it's a safety net. He says, bricklaying can come and go. Well, here you're guaranteed work each month, and a wage each month is paying the bills. So you can probably see why they fall into it.
You can. My kind of thing for teaching was as well, I remembered my experience at school and I loved it. And I remember my teachers actually teaching us and enjoying being with us and like reading your story at the end of the day and all that sort of stuff. Whereas I kind of found that teaching over here has got very all about credentials and tests and marks and on the scale of things. And it kind of has removed that wee bit of freedom for people to actually teach and enjoy.
And fun as well.
Yeah, you know, so I kind of thought like, this is not for me. This was not my experience at school, and I don't want to be doing this for the next 40 years if I'm not able to enjoy what I'm doing. So
that's true.
At that stage, I just thought, you know what, just come step out of it. And I suppose I was still living at home at the time, so you had that safety net off. You know, you didn't have a mortgage to pay and all that sort of stuff, and I was still coaching on the side, so I had enough money to cover my bills. But yeah, mum and dad never really said a big pile about it. I know probably inside they were dying, thinking, what the fuck is she doing? She's 4 years in Stranmillis, spent a clean fortune, and now she's just stepped out of this. But not once did any of them ever say to me, like, Linda, you've made a bad move. So I'm very thankful for that.
Maybe they don't think he made a bad move. I think you talked earlier on there about how Australia's forward thinking or further on than we are in terms of personal training back then. But I think you're ahead of the game because you saw that what was designed for you by yourself because of the nature of our educational system proved to you that it wasn't a good fit for you. You tried, tested, and realized it wasn't good. And you were brave and bold enough to step out of that early on. And now as a result, you've got this growing business, which is fantastic. A lot of people like myself knew that perhaps I was maybe chasing down the wrong path, but took a hell of a lot longer to click and deal with my insecurities and deal with my fear of what people are going to think. And my mum was brilliant about it, and she still is brilliant about it. So I have to give her a big, massive pat in the back for that and give her lots of thanks. If she hadn't been as supportive, it would have been a harder journey. Anyway, education system is not what we're here to talk about. And believe me, I don't have any credentials to talk about it, but I can certainly talk about it if I needed to. Let's talk about you. So you're now a personal trainer, you now own your own business, Bodybox in Banbridge. Tell us a bit about who you cater for, what you cater for, and why. To quote you, I'm going to take a page off your Insta, your website, if you don't mind. My goal is to inspire people and enhance their lives by helping them to aspire to living healthier lifestyles through exercise and positive nutritional choices. To educate them on the types of physical movement and foods that will nourish and heal their bodies and will help them reshape their lives. Do you want to break that down for us?
No, geez. So I suppose for me, I see, because fitness has always been such a dominant part of my life, and it's always been, I don't know, I just love exercising. I just love anything physical. And I've always felt the benefits of that I wanted other people to feel the benefits of that. And I want my business and what I do to be much more. I think fitness has got kind of a wee bit lost. People are now using it as a weight loss tool. Predominantly. And it's kind of heartbreaking for me, because then people don't see the whole beauty in the health and the fitness, that we're trying to provide for them. Because I suppose everybody wants instant gratification now. Everybody wants like the beach bod in 4 fucking days. And, you're not offering that
to them. Magic pill.
Take the magic pill, do this, take this shake, do that, and it's all going to be awesome. And I get frustrated with that still, because I just wish people could take a step back and just see how much more enriched they could be from exercising, from moving. And food's a big thing in my life. To me, food is here to nourish and fuel your body. It's not about this bullshit of calories in, calories out, and if it fits your macros. That really fucking irks me too. Because I'm
next to your background, well, I know for myself, and I'd say for most of the people over in Northern Ireland and stuff, you would be a good role model for what you've done and stuff. Surely people are bound to say, that there is a load of bull crap, but you still get it.
Yeah, I suppose it's from a business perspective. Everybody wants to get the clients, and everybody's trying to, make money and keep their business thriving. But, to me, if I did that, I would be attracting the wrong type of clientele that I want to work with. I want somebody that wants to create a healthier lifestyle and something for life. And it was a big thing that I did do when I was in school, was trying to promote that in with the kids about healthy eating and moving their bodies, but using language that wasn't associated with any negativity. Like, you didn't say things like, things were bad for you, or bad foods or good foods. It was like, how is this going to help you heal? How is it going to make you, help you move? It's going to make you better at doing your hockey or your netball or whatever it is that you did, and give you more energy. So I'm always, and I do, not so much now, but I did struggle with that, that excerpt you've taken from my website, because I know I would get a lot more business if I was like, I can get you shredded in 8 weeks. And I could get you shredded in 8 weeks if you did what you were told. But it unstabilizes you so much with your mental, your physical health.
It's like you go, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get into that more depth.
So I suppose we cater for everybody in the Body Box. We've got clients, we've got kids there, and we've got right through to people in their 70s. And even in
Brilliant.
our groups are different age ranges the whole way across. In one sort of group you can have 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds and 60-year-olds. They're all in that same way, and it's lovely to see those relationships building, because everybody's coming from different experiences too, and different experiences and backgrounds from why they haven't maybe got in shape before, or why they haven't changed their diet before now, and you can see all these conversations sort of happening, which is lovely as well. But yeah, so I tried to do it in schools, and then I kind of had this epiphany of, like, if I want to help improve the kids' lives, I need to start to impact the parents, because they're
absolutely.
they're the ones that are going to go home with the information, the education. Like a 9-year-old child's going to go home and say, like, we're talking about healthy food and this, that, and the other thing, but it's not really going to impress on the parents, I don't feel, anyway. So if you can get a hold of the parents, you can hopefully get a hold of their kids and their grandkids, and hopefully begin to shape their lives so that they're going to be a whole lot better.
I believe in that too. I believe if it's a parent's doing something, sports or even going to fitness class or something like that, the kids are going to see them. Rather than having somebody who's going to maybe a bar or sitting drinking every day or a weekend, the kids follow that suit. So whatever you're doing, they're going to follow suit. So you're setting an example for them. So yeah.
But it's not, and I'm sorry to dig you out in this one, it's not just the negative aspects of the way parents parent by drinking or doing it there. It's they can be so involved in the work that they're just constantly on their computer, constantly on their phone, that they're not paying attention to the kids. They're not paying attention to their body and their health, and the kids are picking up that this is normal, this is fine, this is okay, because it's not. The whole thing about fitness and health industry is not just how your body works, it's how your body feels, not just slim. I'm talking about how it feels to move in your mind, and how you're able to switch off and appreciate the fact that every morning you get to wake up. That makes sense. And that's probably that's what I kind of go, like, I can sit in the computer all I want and pretend to do work or make myself feel better or validated because people see me at a computer, but that doesn't mean I'm doing good work. Good work is spending time with my kids outside, teaching them, using the words that I would use to clients, like, and talk about exercises that I do and talk about protein and stuff like that there. Like, just make it normal conversation. But it's not always easy, because there's other words that go in there as well when you're frustrated and tired.
Oh, you little beep, beep, beep.
We do have a lot of parents that bring their kids into the studio again, which is lovely.
Yes.
And they're going to meltdown, and they're like, Linda, I can't make class tonight because I can't get babysitter. I'm going to bring them in. And they're there and they're seeing what their mum's doing 3 nights a week.
Yeah. They'll probably join in as well.
Some of them do, actually, at times, you do let them come in and have a wee go at something, which is lovely. And I said to, like, the parents, it's important, because you get, I suppose, I don't have kids, but I know the mum get the mum guilt. And I'm like, at least now your child knows where you're coming 3 nights a week and what you're doing and who you're seeing, and they can appreciate that that's mummy's time or daddy's time or whatever, which is lovely.
And it's good that you allow that there, because most places, you go now, they'll say, oh, no, you can't do that there. Where you're saying, no, bring them along. And then to me, that's looking down the line in the future as well. They're going to, next thing you see them coming through the doors when they're 16, 17, maybe before that and all, doing classes or whatever as well.
Yeah, like I would have some parents who couldn't make it to Spain, or they had childcare issues, like bring the tablet with them. They can sit there and chat. They can help me set up whatever. Just as long as you're not running in between the bikes, it's absolutely fine.
Well, yes, that's it. That's
it.
Yeah.
But yes, we were talking about diet there, and how starving yourself this 8-week shred, whatever it is not something that you specifically cater for. Although you can if you wanted to, or asked to. But you have shredded yourself down quite significantly for bodybuilding. Yeah. Do you want to talk to us a bit about that?
So bodybuilding, how I got into it, my dad was always trained weights. We had like a wee mini gym in the house. It was nothing, it was real old school, it was fab, real old school weights and all that jazz. And I would have seen him training in the house quite often, and then he would have went to the bodybuilding shows back in the day when they're in the Park Avenue Hotel and all that. And
that's right, Nava.
Yes, Nava. We have reams of photographs of guys, because he used to train in the wee gym in Portdown called Waistline at the time, and that's where the boys all came out of to do the competition. So it was something again that I was very privileged to have been exposed to, and I loved it. And I was always very intrigued about how, these guys, it was mostly guys because there wasn't too many women on the circuit at that stage, how they were getting themselves into this phenomenal shape. And then my dad would have kind of, ate quite well as well, and would have been cooking liver and all sorts of shit, and the smell of it was horrendous in the
I
house.
say, remember the liver tablets and all?
So they'd have been doing all that. So I suppose how I got into it then was I used to do gymnastics and netball and athletics and all that type of stuff. And then it got to a point where I was like, right, I'm too old for this shit now. I'm going to get killed in gymnastics. So like, what am I going to do now? You know, what am I going to do that's going to keep me focused, give me a challenge? And I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll give this bodybuilding malarkey a bit of a crack. And I hadn't a fucking clue what I was doing at all. And again, I just had a couple of friends that were trainers at the time, because I've always worked in leisure centres. So I've always been, again, very privileged to work with other people in the industry and get a lot of experience and advice from them. And I think just between the whole lot of us, we kind of got together and we tried to do something. Now, the very first time I got on stage, I had a fucking clue. I had a bikini that you would fucking buy to wear to go to Spain on your holidays. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about posing. I remember standing like doing like this on the stage. I hadn't got a clue what was going on, but it was a really lovely experience to have. And there were a couple of girls that I met, and one girl in particular who was massive in the sport would have been Andy Black at the time. She really was kind of the only name that you would have heard a lot of, and her background was gymnastics and stuff. So after that show, then I got in contact with her, and she gave me then the guidance to help me to do the next one, with posing and with bikinis and shoes and all that sort of jazz. So that's how I got into that. And then I just got the bug for it. I just was like, oh, I like how my body's changing. This is interesting, you know, how much further can I push it? And just with every show, you get that wee bit more knowledge about your own body and how it functions and works and what doesn't. And I like the process of doing the 16 weeks of, it's horrendous towards the end, and you feel like you've lost your mind. And when you're in the middle of it all, you're like, wow,
you're a pure demon.
I'm really glad I didn't sign up for Netflix, because these are all not selling this to me.
Absolutely
like, everyone keeps saying it's horrific. I'm like, my life's already horrific enough. I don't get enough.
Don't worry, Linda, you're going to be prepper next year for one. You have to join the club.
Absolutely, I have to give it one at least.
I am in the midst of some champions here. Like, Linda, I'm gonna go down my computer here and talk through the list of stuff I got. First place NABA Miss UK, first place WFF European Championship, second place NABA Northern Ireland, second place NABA Miss Universe, third place NABA Northern Ireland, third place NABA Miss England, Miss Britain finalist, Miss Universal finalist, and World Champion finalist NABA.
I think there's one missing, isn't there? The Olympia. Did you do the Olympia?
No. Haven't ticked that one off yet.
Hear that yet?
You need to get on there, Linda.
Like, that's a hell of a lot of accolades. That's pretty. It's very impressive. Not pretty impressive. It's very impressive.
I've just been, I suppose, very, very blessed. I've just have some good people around me to help me out to get to that stage too. You know, because it's obviously I'm the one putting the work in, but you need that advice, you need that guidance, and you need that somebody that's going to be honest with you. Like, and I'm always surrounded by guys. I say I'm not very good with females at times, but guys are brutally honest, you know. And when you're standing up and they're looking at you and they're like, you know, Cassie, get your shit together. Whereas you get girls like, oh yeah, you're looking really good, and I'm like, but I'm not stage ready good, you know. So quit pandering to the whole thing and just tell me how it is. But the boys are just straight. They're just saying, no, Cassie, get your shit together.
Yeah,
you know, and that's how you get on to the next.
I hate the ones where even you ask the questions. You've probably been there yourself, where they'll tell you, "Oh, you're looking brilliant." No, but really, you're not. You look like pure shit.
Yeah,
right there. Just tell me the truth. This is what you need to work on right now. Problem. We'll go away and do that there, rather than sitting saying, "Oh, yes." No, just tell me the truth.
You talked about your relationship with women versus men. If a woman was straight up honest with you and said, right, Linda, you're a little bit lacking here, there, or wherever, and you do X, Y, and Z. Now, they're not a bodybuilder, but they've maybe got some sort of idea what you're doing. Would you take it, or would you tell them, who tell you to speak to me like that?
No, absolutely, you would take it.
I don't know if I would, if I'm being honest.
If they've been to competitions and they kind of know what's being looked for, and you know, you can take, and because I know
they are really.
Yeah, when you're in this sport, I know that there's a level of, even when you're 8 weeks out, I know that to a normal person, we do look fabulous. Mm-hmm. But whenever you're in our headspace, that's not anywhere near fabulous. You're only halfway there. Do you know what I mean? So you need that, or else you're wasting your time, because as you know, your head completely goes, and you can get up one morning and look phenomenal. The next morning you're like, oh my God, somebody shoot me. I'm not doing this anymore. What am I doing? I'm lost.
Pancake.
Yeah. So it's that. And then obviously guys are the same, but girls are more impacted hormonally then as well, because we don't have a period over a duration of time. So you've all those fucking wackadoo things going on too.
Mm-hmm.
You're having a meltdown for no reason. You're just crying because you just feel like it.
Sure, I've tried a few times.
I don't think you've lost the plot, but again, I'm very lucky and my husband's very supportive, and he'll just look at me and he knows that's normal behavior at a certain point in the prep. And he's just like, right, okay, Linda, you're going to be okay. And I'm like, I know. And the next day I could be getting up, bouncing and jumping about the place. And he's like, yeah, bipolar, wouldn't get a look in right now.
Yeah. It's when I'm on prep, it's movies. Like for something sad in a movie, I'll not watch it because the tears is bucking out in me. So I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell am I crying for? Like, she said, it's madness.
And everyone thinks bodybuilding, you're big, buff, scary people.
From
oh my goodness, you're big soppy sausages.
Big softy.
Oh,
I think people don't realize. I know the difference between, I'm sure you're the same, the difference between like we're doing this to compete, so like your body's under so much stress, it's under so much stress. That's not normal behavior. But I think when you've been doing it so long, you realize like this is not normal behavior, but I'm doing this for a purpose. And you get to that point and you know how to come back out of it again, without damaging your body physically, without fucking your hormones up, without you're mentally losing, your mind as well. So I think I've seen too many people in our industry that maybe go and do some sort of a show, and I'm not being disrespectful to different shows, but it's like they do a show in the place and like all of a sudden they're a prep coach, and I'm like, no, here, hold on. And I've had to deal with girls coming to me posing and telling me what they're doing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's this person got you? Like, your calories are too low, you're doing far too much at the minute. And then I've had quite a few girls actually that came to me that have had eating disorders, and they have trainers then pushing them, and I have just had to say to them, like, I really don't think this is the thing that you should be doing right now, because if you have that body dysmorphia, you have that problem with food and stuff at the minute, and with body image, this is not the thing to be doing. But again, it's a lot of people, it's for their social media, for their business. I prep this class.
There's a lot of PTs out there now. They're like, G said, to do one show and next minute that's them. They're freaking the world's best PT, and they do an online 2-day course, and they can give you dates, this, that, and the other, and all. So it angers me. And then you see some PTs too sitting on their phone while their clients training away and all. You just want to freaking shake them or say something, but you don't.
I know, and it's sad because it makes our industry kind of like a wee bit Mickey Mouse at times. And I'm like yourself, I've been in this over 20 years now, and you say like Jordan down the road there, like he's done a 2-week PT course, and my thing was like I've learned so much from other people because I've been in leisure centers my whole life as well. So I've been exposed to so many different levels, and it's been lovely. So I don't know how kids nowadays are going out and doing a course and just opening up a gym or a studio and the way they go.
Part of me thinks kudos to you. You've got big girly pants on for doing that, and you've got the confidence to do it. But how long are you going to be around is what I'm saying. Do you have the longevity with it? I feel like from a personal trainer point of view, and I've said this before, we're unregulated as an industry, and it frustrates the life out of me, especially from the industry that I've come from, which is the law. And I hold myself to high standards. Whether people believe that or not, it's entirely up to them. But I sit and look around, and it's no disrespect to anyone in my gym, and I look at their clients. A lot of their clients look like them, and I'm like going, they train them to be them. Do they? Or do they like what they say and those people train them, and that's why they're always busy? I'm like going, none of my clients look like me. Thank the Lord they don't, because Jesus, they'd be upset.
Well, most PTs now, they're trained out of a book. They're not using their own mind to set up different stuff for different clients. It's out of a book.
I train them out of a book.
No, but you'll write different routines for different clients. So you're not like do one routine and some client come in and that might suit them and they're doing the exact same thing over and over.
I can figure out what my clients like and don't like within the first 2 weeks. And I go, right, you don't like this because it's a bit too, it doesn't seem simple enough, or it's too faffy, or it's not for you. So you kind of figure out what works for them and you sort of tailor things around. But anyway, we're not talking about me, we're talking about Linda.
See, we went off one.
I went off one, not you.
It's the same with diet plans too, though. I think again, because somebody's maybe did some sort of a bikini show and they just give that person the diet that they did. And they don't take into consideration their age, like if they've had kids, their hormones, like what's going on there, their mental health, because it all comes into play and one diet doesn't fit all, and I think that's scary too, because I'm like, Jesus, there's somebody else, fucking broccoli and chicken. Like, I'm like, that's not how you live your life. That's not what health and fitness is.
No.
No, that's I've had quite a few come up to me and asking for nutrition plans and all, and I said, listen, I can only give you guidance. I don't know your whole background, but I said, if you're looking at there, I said, go and get a coach who is qualified for nutrition, and then I'd pass them on, to a few people and stuff. But I wouldn't give nutrition advice or help to anybody, because I don't know the background. It's like you said, you don't know their age or what's going on, or if there's eating disorders or anything like that there. So I always recommend a professional to do it.
Yeah, and it's knowing that bigger picture. And I think the more you get to know your plans, like we don't give out diet plans in the studio either, because I don't believe in them either.
Yeah.
What we kind of do is like, let's get yourself a wee notebook. Let's start to write down what you're eating, when you're eating it, how you're feeling, energy levels, sleep. And then we go through that every week with everybody as an individual. And then it's like, well, let's like start to mix this up and move things about in order to make your lifestyle better. And it's not about cutting out certain food groups it's seeing what's working for them. Because again, like, I have no kids, so I don't have to worry about looking after anybody else in my house, whereas like a lot of people's priority is their kids. And I'm saying to my girls, like, don't be making 4 different fucking meals in your house for dinner. No. There's nothing wrong with pasta or bread or whatever else. Like, shouldn't be demonized. Like,
Not a wee bit of sauce on theirs.
That's it. Do that. Just try and make a lot of it, much as what you can from scratch if you can. And there's no shame in using like fucking Dolmio sauce either. Get it bucked in there if you haven't got time to make your own.
I use that through prep. Chili or barbecue sauce and sweet baby barbecue sauce. I put it when I even write to the last week of prep, and I put a wee bit on just to take the blandness out of it.
Yeah, no, I don't know how much calories and sugar it is, but I would highly recommend balsamic vinegar, but not like the watery version, like the gel one with sweet chili sauce, and it gives you a sweet and sour that you get from the Chinese. Swear to goodness. Oh. I discovered that one recently. I had to go on this.
There's my tea tonight.
Brilliant. Awesome. So Linda, we talked about the fact that you have to understand your body, and you understand your body probably better than most people because you've gone through the different phases of your life with the bodybuilding and you've been active for a while, and you're trying to educate people on nutrition as well, albeit that you're not giving them diet plans and stuff. Tell us why it's important to listen to your body.
I suppose, again, you can be the same as doctors, anybody in the whole wide world. They're not you. You're the only person that knows your body. We're designed as trainers if somebody comes in to assess them in their mobility and their range of movement and all that sort of stuff and work around injuries and that type of stuff. But somebody could have a knee injury and we could say, like, I have a girl at the minute who in her 30s had hip replacement there. And I'm going just by the guidance of what her physio or what her doctor has told me to do. Now, I know she could push a bit further, but I stay in within that range. But there's certain things that we've been doing with her that she's like, Linda, I'm not comfortable with this. So I'm like, well, you know your body, not me. You're the ones had the hip replacement. True. So like, we'll not do that. Let's not do that. It's the same when you've got pregnant clients, like, yes, there's certain things you can do up to a certain point, but it's like, let's listen to the client because it's their body. I'm not inside them. I don't know how it feels. So it is important to listen to your body. And I would say to my girls, like, if you are tired and you don't feel like it, come in and do a wee bit. Don't push yourself. If you're really not feeling it and you're on well, it's maybe a good idea to give training a miss today. So it's not always that like push all the time and like us beating people down and saying you're being a lazy bastard because you're not coming to the gym. I'm like, the difference between being a lazy bugger and being just like, what, it's just something not feeling good with me today, and that's okay.
You're in your body's sort of beat up and run down, just to say, listen, I'm just taking a rest for a day, even 2 days, just recover and then just back out again. Yeah. Keeps the mind right as well.
And it's knowing that, and unfortunately, again, social media is great when it's for positive, but you've got this added pressure of like, you need to be working out every day, you need to be doing something every day, and you need to be hitting personal goals and PBs and all this every day. And it's because I said, like, I know I do this for a living and I love it, but there's days I get up and I'm like, fuck, I can't be arsed going to the gym today. Do you know, and there
That's
are
just human. That's
That's
being human.
you know, but I kind of know when I have the conversation, I'm like, and that's okay, Linda, if you really aren't feeling it, but are you really not feeling it, or are you being a dick? Just get there and do something. And when you get there, you do feel better. And there's some days you get there and you start and you're like, no, this isn't for me today. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're not bouncing up every day. Like I'm usually bouncing up the ceiling most days, but there are some
That's
days.
the coffee and the pre-workouts.
No, that's just, it's nothing to do with any supplements that Linda takes. It's just Linda. She is full of energy.
No, I'll blame the coffee for myself and the pre-workout. Come after tea time, then I'm crouching. I'm like,
Hit the wall.
Have you ever experienced any health issues that you've recognized from where your body was feeling?
So what year are we in? 2020, I think it was. Yeah, it was in 2020. I was due to compete in April, and then obviously COVID kicked in and we went into a bit of a lockdown. Generally, when I get ready to compete, obviously your body fat drops. So again, I wouldn't have a period then for a duration of maybe 4 months. But generally when I finish competing within the space of 4 to 6 weeks, my period comes back and my cycle comes back as normal. This didn't happen, and I kind of thought, right, okay, we're into April now, end of April, still no period. I was like, it's okay, it's grand. May, still nothing, and it's very abnormal for me not to be having a regular period. I also had this overwhelming feeling of fatigue in my arms. It was hard to explain. It was like somebody give you a dead arm.
Yeah.
That was it.
Holy smokes.
So that was fine. And I went and got my bloods. I always try to get my bloods done twice a year. Went and got my hormone profile done. Everything came back 100%. I get the print out, not a problem at all. Was it, yeah, July, August, then said nothing. I still was feeling the same and went and got my bloods done. Everything was totally 100% fine. And I was going to the physio and I was saying to him, like, what the fuck is wrong with my arms? I just totally feel dead all the time. And I thought then maybe it was stress. I was thinking, right, shit, the businesses had to close. Nobody knew at that stage what was going on. Nobody was getting any money. Everybody was at home. I'm sitting thinking, fuck, I'm a business. It's closed. What am I going to do? So I left it for a wee while. And then I think it was about September, October time. And I thought, nah, I've had enough of this. Rang the doctor again. And I'm never in the doctors unless I'm getting bloods done. And I got some locum GP on the phone and phone call, of course. And I said to her, and she went off in this fucking tangent then. She was like, oh, well, you're 38 now and you could be perimenopausal. And I was like, right, okay. And I says, well, I'm not, because I got my blood hormone profile done. It's fucking perfect. So tell me what's perimenopausal about that. And that was fine. So I just went in and did a bit of research, and we all do the old Google doctor. But I just had been reading up about it anyway. And I had sort of read up about the pituitary gland. So your pituitary gland is obviously in your brain, and it's your control center of your body. It controls everything, all your hormones. So I went and booked in and paid for an MRI scan down in Hillsborough.
You mind if I ask how much that was? I googled it. I saw 340, but I can't think, and that's a bit cheap.
No, it actually, yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't that expensive.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that expensive. So I went and got that done, and I suppose it's because they're just focused on one area. They were just really focused on the pituitary.
Yeah,
it might have been different if you had to get the whole brain or whatever scan. So I went down and paid for it and got it done, and the dye and stuff in, and got the dye test done, and then within 24 hours it sent me an email of the results, because you've paid for it, it's private, you get it. Now I obviously had no clue, I'm not a doctor, what all the medical terminology was, but I did again Google and see, and I was like, shit, right, okay. Got the scans and stuff back. I can't read brain scans. I don't know anything about that. But I then contacted the GP, and they were on the ball with me straight away with the Royal. So basically I had like a bouncy ball sized tumor around my pituitary gland. And the doctors were actually, my neurologist couldn't believe that I had no symptoms. And he said the symptoms that I had weren't really relevant to the type of tumor that I had. So I just go into automatic pilot, and I was like, right, it's okay, it is what it is. We'll get it sorted, it'll be fine, get it taken out, and off we go. Didn't think much about it, and that's what I did. And said that the Royal were quite quick at getting me in for surgery, and they went up through my nose and back, and they removed what they could. And I came out and I had a fucking supersized tampon up each nose, which was tiny when I woke up.
Like that was painful when they pulled it out.
Oh my God, it just seemed to keep coming.
I've seen videos that have, and
so that was fine. The consultant, it was a lovely guy and all the rest of it. And And I sort of suggested to him, like, how did this get here? Could it be stress related and all? Because I did a lot of research on it. And his answer was no, bad luck. It was bad luck. And I was like, well, I don't believe in bad luck. You don't just get things like this, pure bad luck.
Yeah.
So I was kind of annoyed at the whole situation because it's like, I look after my body so well. Like, I do feed it well. I do exercise it. But I would be sometimes a wee bit high function anxiety. I would be a bit of a stressy person. So I was thinking that's my body. The universe has manifested that in there to slow me down, which it did inevitably because I had to go in and I wasn't allowed to do anything for 6 months, drive or anything at all. But
how did you find that? Like, how, like you say, you're high functioning, you're kind of like bouncing from one thing to the other. To have that taken away from you for the great reasons, obviously, but like, how did you function? Like, I would not be married.
Yeah, well, it was okay. I suppose for me, I was trying to do other bits and pieces, but for me, it was, I don't think I even gave my body the proper rest that it needed after surgery, because again, I was straight up and trying to do things, and it was lovely. There were people calling, but the people were calling all the time, and I really should have just said, guys, you just need to give me a couple of weeks here.
I'd have been the opposite. I'd have said no. I don't want nobody around me. Yes, it is nice, but just leave me alone.
My thing is, suppose, not that I'm a people pleaser, I would have been at one stage, but I suppose it's lovely that people are thinking about you and that are calling. I didn't want to be that fucking rude person. And looking back now, I was like, why did I just not take that time, even just the 6 weeks to, because then I went back into that state of like, shit, I need to be doing, I need to be seeing all the time. So if I had to do it again, I hope I've learned from it that I would take a back seat in the whole thing. But it gave me a lot of time, I suppose, to think. I just got annoyed about it because I'm a control freak, and it was something that just had manifested there out of my control. So that was my biggest issue with it. And I did actually do a wee bit of counselling after it. Because I was in big balls into surgery and spoke to the consultant and all the rest of it. And then I had a pure fucking meltdown. I went from like totally dying in the space of 10 seconds. And I had to phone my brother. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I was like, then they fucking calm down. Because I didn't even tell my parents anything about it. I just said told them I had like a cyst I had to get removed from my nose because I didn't want to annoy them.
Yeah.
So I went and done my thing and then came out the other side. But I did have a wee bit of counselling because I wasn't dealing well with how this had got into my body with me looking after it so well. And I was annoyed at that. And it's just, I suppose these things happen. But I am a big believer in, our bodies will physically manifest something if we're not looking after ourselves. And for me, I do stress a lot because I do like to be busy and I do like to be doing something all the time. And yeah, you can't be on that level all the time, and something has to give somewhere. And that's just what happened to me.
Yeah.
How are you now?
Pardon?
How are you now?
I'm good. Everything, well, whatever's left is left there. I'll just keep an eye on it. And I'm just, totally fine, as I had no really other symptoms. So, and it was amazing within the space of 4 weeks after having the tumor removed, my period came back.
Wow.
Crazy.
So that was obviously indicative of that was something going on. It was impacting my hormones at some degree level, even though it wasn't showing up clearly on the bloods.
Isn't it weird? I'm going to go girly on you right now. Isn't it weird? Like,
I'll get my wig and wee dress on.
So when we were like young, like 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe even a bit older, we get our first period, right? We absolutely dread that time getting a period. Then we get used to having the period every month. Then we get pregnant, or we miss the period. Then we crap ourselves so we could be pregnant. We weren't planning to get pregnant, or else we're pregnant. We don't have a period for ages. But for some reason, even though I freaking hate that thing every month, I hate the bloating, I hate the bleeding, I hate the pain, there's not much about it I like, apart from the fact that it makes me feel like a woman. Isn't that weird?
Nature.
Yeah.
I'm different. I'm a woman.
I'm very on. My thing is, like, I think your period's a big indicator of your body, your health, your overall female health as well. And I'm sort of not a big believer in contraceptive pills or implants or coils. I'm not into that at all. I'm kind of like you're putting sort of things into your body that shouldn't be there. Yeah. You need to have a bleed every month. That because your body's obviously trying to shed that out of your
all the toxins and stuff. It's just getting rid of all the bad stuff.
It needs it. It's a natural occurrence. So like, and I think that's a big thing too. Again, when we go back to health and fitness, is like, as you said, Elaine, like, you start to get an age, maybe you're sexually active or you're maybe on the pill or something for your skin, but the GPs don't tell you the negative things that come along with taking the pill, and they don't ever check in with you. Like, I know girls that have been on the pill for 15 years and the doctor or GP has never said, like, how are you getting on with this? Or I'm like, for 15 years, you've been kind of having a fake period, because this pill is controlling this. And I have a lot of girls in with me at the minute that are struggling to get pregnant and they're IVF and they're young girls, so I kind of think, is that an impact back from, like, you've been on the pill from you were 13, 14, 15, you're now 30, 35 trying to get pregnant, you've come off all the contraceptive, but your body's like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Because I've had a tablet controlling me for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's messed
so
up.
People would speak to young girls in that capacity, not to scare them off. Like, if you want to take contraceptive pills or whatever you want to do, that's totally okay. Like, I did take it for a while when I was younger, but like, tell us the whole story. Let us be able to make the decision ourselves, and like, let there be a checkup, like, after a year. They said, like, how are you getting on? Do you still need to be on this pill? Do you need to take a break from it for 6 months, a year? But that's kind of lost in the system. And unfortunately now, I think a lot of females now, when they're older, trying to get pregnant, have a family, they're now dealing with the repercussions of that. I could be talking out of turn. There could be people saying I'm talking bullshit, but to me, that there has to be some correlation.
There's definitely a coincidence somewhere along the line.
No, I do agree with you. It should be where you have to do like a yearly checkup or something. So you say, I'm totally on your side, Linda. You don't know what you're putting in your body. And the doctor should tell you, this is side effects or whatever.
I could get into debate about if this was a male problem. Would it be talked about? Would it be dealt with? Would there be more research into it? I don't know. But again...
But I think you're right. I think if it was something to do with males, there would be something more done about it. So why shouldn't there be? What's the difference? Make a difference between a male and a female? The females are getting it done to their body, so they should be more worried about that there. But then that's a different story.
I look at it too, Davey. Like, you look at all the, like, obviously we're in bodybuilding, we're not going to tell any lies about any extra supplementation that people will be taking. Yeah. So like, I see all the negative connotations and all the things that people saying, if guys are taking testosterone, it suppresses your own testosterone, which is completely true. So why is that not spoken out about with contraceptive pill? If you're taking estrogen, progesterone, like, why are we not being told, like, you're actually suppressing your own hormones here? But it's not spoken about in that way because it's pharmaceutical. Everybody automatically thinks, oh, the doctor said it's okay, so it's okay. So it's like, I'll not even get into that debate.
No, pharmaceutical, but yet people are getting addicted to prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
Yeah.
Right, there's a whole documentary on prescriptive drugs. It's on Netflix when anyone wants to watch it. So now we're here for Linda. So Linda, talking about positive mindset and putting good things into your body, it doesn't just come from food. It doesn't just come from supplements. It doesn't come from exercise. It also comes from how you feed this grey matter in here. And I've talked about your grey matter. And I'm really sorry that you had to go through all of that. That must have been really, really scary. And the fact that you're here to even talk about it it's just awesome. So we love the fact that you're here. Talk to me about how you feed your mind, how you feed that part of you that makes you go boom, 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 boom.
So as well, as you know, I went to Tony Robbins back in July, and that is just an experience in itself, fabulous. Before
and you walked on fire. She walked on fire.
On fire?
Yeah, on the fire, on the ashes. It's definitely it's how you feed your mind yourself, because you're the only person talking to yourself all day, and again, this is something that we try to create with the girls in the studio and the guys in the studio. It's, I can tell you you're amazing all day long, but if you don't believe that, you don't feel it into yourself, you're never going to feel that, so that's a big part of it. It's feeling that, it's believing that in yourself. So it's like I would do like a lot of gratitude. Like, I'm very thankful for what I do have. Thankful for obviously my health, and thankful for my family, and thankful that I have my business and I'm financially sound and all that sort of stuff, and that I've got friends. And that's an important thing too, I think, when you're talking about health, is to make sure you're surrounding yourself with the people that are going to nourish you as a person, that are going to be there to support you and help build you up. They're not going to knock you down. Because I know, like, we're doing, say we went to Tony Robbins and people are like, you're fucking mental cases, you're at a cult, you know, and like when you're in it, you kind of look around like, fuck, I am in a cult, but you know what? I'm loving this. And it's not that you're in a cult, it's just you're in a fucking room of 10,000 people that are all on that level of just wanting to be there, to love themselves and look after themselves and just be themselves, because
There's nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong with that, but so many people we're just, again, socially and environmentally, you know, you can't say this and you can't do that and you have to do this, and God forbid you think outside the box. And like, I'm running about with crystals in my bras and my pockets and all sorts of stuff, and that's just what I'm into and that's what I love. Do you know what I mean?
No, there's two girls
me.
my work does that there. They were sitting talking about it one day, and I overheard them.
Crystals?
Crystals in the bras. And I sort of said to myself, I says, no, I just didn't hear what I heard. And then I was working on McGinn, and I says, well, what crystal you got in your bra then? And I was like, right.
It is, and it's just, I suppose it's another part of being in touch with nature. I think we're very blessed actually that we live on the river here where we are, and like the river just is right.
Way.
It's stunning. We love it, and it's just hearing that and seeing that every single day it's just immersing yourself in that, I suppose, that beauty and that nature, that you're coming away from all this technology.
Yeah.
This could be my big thing as well. Social media is awesome. It's awesome for us, like things like this, and it's awesome to connect with other people alike, but we need to make sure that we don't drown in it and that we don't follow the wrong things that are making us feel worse about ourselves. And that's one thing I'll say to my girls: if you're following something or somebody, and it might even be me on social media, and I'm making you feel shit about yourself or making you feel bad about yourself, then unfollow my ass. You know, if you're following things, like I know a lot of my girls are following fitness models and this and that, and I'm like, girls, that's okay, but that's maybe number one, it's their job, they're getting paid to be like that all the time, or you're not getting the whole story. It would be like me pretending that I'm ripped all the time and this is my normal state of affairs every day, you know. So it's about being honest, and it's about, say, connecting with people and being drawn to people that are on the same wavelength as you, and they're people that are going to lift you up and make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, that's I agree with that. There, it's all about having the positive energy and having that positive around you. It should be friends, family, and stuff, and all that. You know, if you have positive thinking and positive people around you, you're going to get that positive energy back. And it just takes that one person or one thing to put that negative mindset in your head, and then it just outbalances everything. I suppose, like yourself, you have to know your board up for thinking and stuff and all. You know, your visual board.
Well, I don't physically have it up. It's in the air. It's not physically up. I know I need to do it.
You know, stuff like that there. To say I agree with you, Linda. So I'm a big believer in that.
And it's about cutting off maybe people in your life, and it can be family that are toxic for what it is that you're wanting to move forward to do, and that's okay. And or maybe just distancing yourself from them, and like we've all had to do that at some point. And it's not that they're a bad person, but they're just not on the same level that you're on, and you're not helping you. They're not helping you to grow.
My dad calls them energy drinkers. They drink your energy and make you feel drained. He says, get rid of them.
It's maybe not their fault either.
It's a bit of a crack fact coming up to the end of the competition prep, like seriously.
Oh, that's prep was. I learned a good lesson about, as you say, you know, negative and positive thinking, being sick and stuff. And funny, I went and got my bloods done all during and all. As I say, I had to dig real deep and start thinking positive stuff and all.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You got there in the end, and you came second, Linda. Second.
It's not good enough. First is what I want.
You didn't want first.
This
is what we said last week in your podcast. You didn't want first because you didn't want to go to Nevada, even though you did want to go to Nevada, but you knew you weren't ready for it. So honestly,
honestly, I was over the moon for second. Top five, we was going for it, but I was going to pull out to say when I was talking to Elaine and stuff and all, and then something just clicked. But I told them next year, I even told the winner, I said, see that gold? I'm having that next year.
What's in line for you though, Linda?
Yeah.
My thing is, I kind of got to the state, I love competing. It hasn't been a priority for me the last couple of years. And I know that it's not that I don't have time, it's just that I'm not making space for that at the minute, and that's okay. I would love to compete next year, and I'm hoping that's in the pipeline. Because I think I sort of had a real awakening or like an epiphany back in 2018 when I did the last universe competition. I just had this real overwhelming moment of Peace. It sounds really weird. Like we love to go and compete. We all want to win, but that's the first time I suppose from I started competing that I was like, I feel really good about myself right now, and I actually the placing doesn't matter. And I came in fifth that year, and it's actually been the happiest I've ever actually felt over all the years competing out of winning titles. And don't get me wrong, it's lovely to come first. But I just had this inner peace within me that year. And I was there with my husband and with my friend Mark Getty. And it just was that like, Mark and I were backstage just having the banter. And I was like, this is why I now realize why I love this sport, because I can't be any better than what I'm going to be right now. And, you know, it's a subjective sport, so it's up to the judges what they judge. Obviously, there's certain things they're looking out for, but you can only be the best you can be. And I had sort of came to a wee bit of I'm okay with that. And if that means I'm first, I'm first. If that means I'm last, I'm last. And I think from that, I kind of look at the whole sport a wee bit differently. And yes, it's lovely to go and compete and win, but if I never want to show again, it wouldn't bother me. You know, as long as
this is a question I was wanting to ask, especially next Linda. You know, you said you felt at peace. You know, that's what I try to figure out. You know, the day comes when you say, okay, right, it's time to hang it up or step back and stuff like that. Or do you think that was the day where you'd say, like, I don't care if I compete again, or that was a farewell to it, or is it in your head maybe one more go? Or
I don't think it wasn't a farewell. It was kind of, I think I just had this like, oh, this, I thought I was loving to do this. And I love to do it because I love to push myself out of my comfort zone. I love to challenge myself. But I think for me, I just kind of had this at peace. I love doing this and I love being up on the stage, and it's just a lovely feeling. And I think it just really dawned on me like, oh, right, this is what this is all about. It's not about like, and don't get me wrong, like I had invested in myself for a long time, like yourself, Davey, in it, and came off the stage and maybe you didn't place you wanted to, and like you were heartbroken and you cried and you were, because you know the work you put in. But I think you have to have this like, well, everybody put in their work as well. It wasn't just like you, like everybody else on that stage did the best they could do that year. And if that meant they were first, they were first. It's hard to describe, but it just was like this, oh, right, this is what this is all about. And this is why I love this sport. And this is why I will, if I want to compete again, I will. If I don't, it's no drama. I don't feel like, suppose before maybe I felt like I had to prove myself to people. Whereas now I don't have that.
It's the camaraderie. You know, it's the camaraderie at backstage and all. You know, that's why I love sitting backstage. And you say it's the camaraderie. Everybody sitting chatting away, getting ready, and the nervousness. And then as soon as your foot steps on that stage, I don't know how to explain it, but something clicks where, you know, for that 5 minutes or 10 minutes on stage, like you are in your prime. You've put 22 weeks prep just for them 5 or 10 minutes on that stage. Like you are the best of the best you can bring, condition, shape, and everything. And then afterwards, you say you're emotional. Like I've sat backstage, I've put a towel over my head crying, you know, come first, second, third, or whatever. You know, it's just your emotions just all unfold.
So just when you put time and effort into preparing for any event, whether it be bodybuilding, whether it be a marathon or whatever, all that adrenaline hits you with all the emotions and all the things that you sacrifice, all the things that you give up just to get to that point. And you got to on the stage, you got to the finish line. That hits you and it's mad. Doesn't matter what it is, if you put the effort into it and you've done what you set out to do.
Yeah.
It hits you. But Linda, we're gonna have to go because you know you gotta go as well.
Yes.
But we want to say thank you so much for the chat. Yeah. Sorry that I kept telling him off.
Everybody
apologize profusely if there were swear words in there, but that's just me.
Don't worry about
it. I remember when you sent me your first voice note, I was like,
I slipped you all together.
I love this lady.
You know, who was coming on? I said we've got Linda coming on, so I think they're all excited to hear about you and get a bit of background stuff. So
well, hopefully I'll give a wee bit of something to somebody. My sort of thing is always just always prioritize yourself first, you know, always try to be. I suppose I'm a bit older now, you learn. It's just like it's up to you to make you happy. And in order to do that, I think your health is your priority, and it's your health comes first, and that comes through your fitness, it comes through your food, and just be kind to yourself. You know, that's really the big takeaway from it all. And I suppose in our industry, that's the beauty of we're able to do that. We're able to look after our bodies and do what we're doing by doing those things. And it's never too late to change. You know, it's never too late to move forward and be a better version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you had fun doing it?
Yes, I have. I was kind of a wee bit nervous about the whole thing because I'm like,
Oh,
what if
don't
they
be
ask me
nervous.
something and I don't know what to say?
Well, you know, Davey, you know me,
yeah,
and we're not the kind of
Yeah.
people who make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Hopefully
no.
not anyway.
I just want to just before you go, Linda, do you do like posing lessons?
Yes, I do. I do still do a wee bit of posing with anybody who's looking a wee bit of help with that type of thing. If I have any availability, there are so many other people out there that do that as well that are great. There's a lot of girls up around Lisburn area and stuff. They're fabulous. And the wee girl, actually, probably your neck of the woods, wee Haley Geisley.
Yep, know her well.
She's fabulous.
I
She's
remember her
fab.
brother.
Yeah, well, she's fabulous too. If you need anybody to do a wee bit of posing as well, she's lovely.
Well, no, I'll tell you the reason why. I'd like to call out and get a posing routine put together. My son, he has come up. He wants to do my music this year, or
Yeah.
sorry, next year. And it's I think it's started Spider-Man or something, but it's something I don't do. I usually do the heavy metal or something like that there, where I can just do simple posing. But I want to try and get a routine put together for this year, so when I come out on stage, when he's in the crowd or whatever, it's just going to look good.
Yeah. Well, I would if I kind of just do the pose and movements, but if you're looking something like that, I have a couple of girlfriends that are dance teachers that look after you beautifully.
Brilliant. That'd be good.
So I give you their contacts.
Great. Well, sure, we'll be in touch. So say, well,
Yes.
pass you on. I got to go and do a bit of training, and you've got to
I know
train
I have
class
to
or
work
whatever.
tonight, and you gotta hear back to work. But listen, thank you so much for having me, guys.
No,
So
thank
thank you, and
Yeah.
hope you don't have to rush down the road.
Yes. So see you later.